content presented in this podcast is based on real events and may contain graphic descriptions of violence, sensitive topics, and explicit language that may be triggering, offensive, or sensitive subjects to some viewers and listeners. Discretion is advised. The purpose of this podcast is to explore and discuss true crime cases for entertainment and educational purposes only. This podcast does not intend to glorify or sensationalize crime, but rather aims to analyze and understand the complexities of human behavior in the criminal justice system. We encourage listeners to approach this content with empathy, critical thinking, respect for the victims and their families.
Let's be clear, this isn't a modern-day Ed Gein case. I'm going to warn you now, if you are sensitive to death, dismemberment, corpses, gross injustice for the dead, leave now. This past week, police say a man didn't just visit a cemetery after dark. He allegedly shopped there. Crowbar, burlap bag, historic Pennsylvania cemetery. And when the officers stopped him, they didn't find vandalism. They found bones and mummified body parts. Jonathan Gerlach, 34, Pennsylvania. According to the investigators, this wasn't just a one-night thing that he did, because what they say they uncovered next reads less like a police report and more like a horror script. More than 100 human remains, skulls, limbs, mummified bodies, stored, displayed, and collected. So tonight we're talking with my friend Vince Kelien, the urban investigator, about how a quiet cemetery became a crime scene, how the dead were taken, and how this case forced one community to ask the question nobody wants to ask. How broken do you have to be to treat a cemetery like it's a damn flea market? So with that being said, it's time to start the show. Let's hit it. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Mysteries, Mayhem, and Merlot. I'm your host, Winnie Schrader. Well, this case just happened like a week ago. Everything's starting to unfold. But Jonathan Gerlach, he's like a modern day Ed Gein, if you look at it. I had no idea that we're going to talk about this, but the reason why he did what he did is very disturbing, if you ask me. So I wanted to bring my good friend Vince Kelien on, the urban investigator, because I saw him on social media talking about it when it broke. And I immediately had to get him on to talk about this because this is bizarre beyond compare. But so, like I said in the beginning, if you are sensitive to these kind of things, this is probably not the episode for you. So I'm giving you fair warning now, but I would love to invite Vince on the show. So welcome to the show, Vince.
This one hits a little close to home, only because when I say home, I mean preservation and restoration, where an abandoned cemetery has been irredeemably destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
And preservation and restoration doesn't just mean spooky buildings. It also means our history, whether it's a cemetery or maybe it's it could be anything, a hotel, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us, including you and your husband and many others in the paranormal, thrive on preservation and restoration. For anyone who doesn't know, little Miss Winnie over here is her and her husband are the brand new owners of the Palmer House.
Yeah.
So it hits close to home for me because that's kind of my thing. That's what I do. I advocate for the broken and the ruined to see the light of day again.
Yeah.
And this particular location happens to be a cemetery where some pompous ass ignoramus. I'm throwing words out here, but decided that someone's family members weren't worth staying in the ground and thought they were worth more than just that, I suppose.
Molina police from Delaware and Lancaster counties have been collecting evidence throughout the day from the home of 34-year-old Jonathan Gerlach. At one point, you could see cardboard boxes stacked in the garage of the Washington Avenue home. Neighbors I spoke to say they were stunned when they found out what was in the house. Forensic teams continue pulling remains from this Ephrata home as they work to investigate what they say is a horror movie come to life.
It's eerie. I mean, my bedroom window's right there, 50 feet away from a graveyard.
This week, Delaware County Police arrested 34-year-old Jonathan Gerlach after more than 100 skeletons were discovered in his Washington Avenue home. According to court documents, Gerlach allegedly vandalized dozens of graves at the Mount Moriah Cemetery in Delaware County, as well as another cemetery in Luzerne County. Debbie Maloney says the crime hits close to home, adding that her parents are buried not too far from the Mount Moriah Cemetery.
He's living down the street from where I live, yet what he did in my neighborhood that I'm originally from, it just all came together.
Neighbors say the case will continue to stick with the Ephrata community for years to come.
It's angering, but it's also heartbreaking.
Christine Mello says she drove to Mount Moriah to check on her grandparents' graves shortly after hearing about Gerlach's arrest.
I pulled up and there was an elderly man there who was looking for his dad. Where's my dad at? Is my dad's bones taken? Where are they? And I was calming down this man, being like, is he a mausoleum? Like, what do we know?
According to court documents, Gerlach is accused of robbing grave sites in Delaware and Luzerne counties. Social media accounts belonging to Gerlach also showed human skulls on display. In a Facebook Live, Jeremy Pauley, who pled guilty to trafficking human remains last year, claimed that Gerlach bought some of his collection off his ex-wife.
I had tried to reach out to him at one point about like, hey, what you bought, what you brokered wasn't hers to sell. And he kind of like told me to.
Volunteers with the Mount Moriah Cemetery say they are looking for donations to improve security, while families call on local governments to protect the grounds.
What is the point of taxes and government if we're not taking care of our lands and spaces?
Investigators also say that Gerlach was a member of a human skull and bone collecting group on Facebook and found evidence of a suspected sale he made to another member of the group. Matt Kleindens, Fox 43 News.
And that's what's sad, because it's like these are cemeteries, whether they're abandoned or not, they still belong to the federal government, I assume. Or somebody has to have some type of ownership, and to disturb the dead like what happened there in PA. I can't. And did they destroy also like some of the architecture and like, because from what I read in the news, they were kind of focusing on like the mausoleums and the above ground graves, and I'm assuming they were probably destroying a lot of that stuff that's been there for you know probably over 200 years, because I think that cemetery, the history of it, do you know much about the history? We can go into that, the history of the is it the Moriah Memorial Cemetery?
Mount Moriah.
Mount Moriah, okay.
Yeah. So I have all kinds of tabs open to talk about this. I didn't know anything about it before. I know that a friend of mine who's a little bit more versed in it, her name's Becky Galantine. She's been there a lot. It's kind of been a place where she herself has went through and picked up trash and just tried to, kind of keep the dignity of the cemetery. But formerly the Mount Moriah Cemetery in Philadelphia, the cemetery was left without an owner in 2004. Serious signs of neglect were showing. Then friends of Mount Moriah stepped up and cleared about 50% of the overgrowth, but still much is to be done. And, having the lead singer for Falling in Reverse coming in and decided that he was going to, set them back about 25%. of the 50% that they've already done is hateful, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but the last grave that was placed was in 2011, and nothing has
Mm-hmm.
since. So it's just been strictly the Friends of Mount Moriah that's been keeping up with overgrowth. Overgrowth. What am I, a ogre? Overgrowth. Keeping up with the preservation, the restoration, the overgrowth, which is essentially just nature overtaking rightful
Yeah.
right. But yeah, so there's not really much to it. It's just it's basically I'm trying to make sure I have all my tabs in the right area. So I'm kind of
Yeah, well, because I was listening to news clips of stuff of, people in the area, that have family members that are buried in Mount Moriah, and they were concerned, was it one of my family members'
right.
graves and things like that. So a lot of, I guess a lot of the locals that have family members buried there, they were going to the cemetery just to see if their relatives' graves were disturbed by
Yeah,
this, Jonathan Gerlach.
yeah,
And there was another cemetery as well that he targeted, and
sure.
to go into why he was doing this is,
Mm.
highly disgusting, and I had no idea this was a thing.
It is a thing.
Um, Basically what he was doing is kind of pulling at Ed Gein and, uh, taking out the bodies out of the graves, the mausoleums, and they would dismember the bodies or just take specific body parts, and they were selling it on the black market as like art pieces.
It's not even the black market. It's Facebook Marketplace. It's
What? It's on
it's
Facebook
it's
Marketplace?
it's oddity pages on Facebook, Instagram. Um, these people who decide that people shouldn't rest, they take it wherever they can go. The black market is not. It is a thing, but it's not for stuff like that anymore. You can probably still find it on there, but it's as easy as finding it on Facebook Marketplace. Um,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
just a little bit more tidbit to the history of Mount Moriah. It opened in 1855, closed down, and well, didn't close down, but became abandoned in 2004. Last person buried there was in 2011. Here's a big problem that I have with the situation, and it's one of those things that many people have bought from Jonathan.
Ugh.
And Jonathan did not clean before sell. So for people to buy and not realize or not think that that's what it was is mind blowing. Because if you ran through Jonathan's Instagram, which is full of evidence of grave robbed human remains, is astonishing.
Oh.
It's almost every single picture. And I know we're not supposed to like judge people and things of that nature, but I've never seen more of a pretentious douchebag come across my Instagram feed ever.
Right.
And I've being in this industry that we're in, we both have met a lot of them. Jonathan, whether there was an excuse or he was low on money or whatever the case, I've been down bad before. I don't know about you, but I'm down bad now. We're in a financial crisis in our country. I can think of a million other things that you could possibly do.
Right. Exactly.
With the photos of him that's on his Instagram, he probably could have started an OnlyFans or anything else. And that's not to, and like I said, it's not to judge people. It's the sheer amount of disrespect to think that, this is, the disrespect is is right up there with people who were enslaved.
Yeah.
Selling people for your own niche or your own boundaries or your own
gain. Yeah.
or your own gain. Or
Well,
whatever
I'm gonna judge him. I'm gonna
She's,
judge
"I'm
him
gonna do
straight
it."
up because he did something illegal. Whether it's not like this is his niche. Just he obviously has a taste for this type of art because the way he displays it in his Instagram feeds and how he's holding skulls, and he has that allure that this is normal for him. But I'm gonna straight up judge him and say he's wrong for what he did because it is illegal
Absolutely.
to disturb a grave. I mean, you have to get a court order to exhume somebody's body.
See,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. See, what we get into now is that, okay, the police have taken a bad guy off the street.
Mm-hmm.
There are thousands of people that do this. In the 1800s, from the 1600s all the way to the 1800s, and probably into the early 1900s, grave robbing was for wealth. It was for cash that was buried with people. It was for rings, jewelry, things of that nature. While that is still terrible to dig somebody up to take their belongings, I think that this is a little bit beyond that. Now we're in a time and place where people are digging up people, literal people, to sell.
Yeah.
It's not the way it used to be where an old school shut down and, oh, well, my cousin Vince is into the spooky stuff. And, one of our medical teachers had a medical skeleton that was ethically sourced.
Yeah.
Now, ethically is a wide term and a wide range now. And the reason why I say that is because you can say ethically all you want to, but when a Native American is unburied for medical use, you're disturbing graves without cause and without permission.
Right.
So ethically is not a word to use in this case, or for anyone who has not verbally donated their body to science.
Yeah.
Because that is about the only time that someone's skeletal remains should pop up.
Right. You can do that in your will, or
Right.
if you're on your deathbed, you can say, I want my body donated
Right.
to medical science, and they could, look at your organs, all the stuff. And usually the skeleton does go on display somewhere as a educational tool.
Yeah.
Usually.
If you've ever been to the Central State Hospital in Indianapolis, Indiana, they have a wide museum of human remains, brains, skulls, full skeleton remains, things of that nature. And every single person had opted in before death to donate their body to science and for display. That right there is what you call ethical.
Right.
When we start excavating and we start exhuming, and start doing these things without permission, whether you're the government, which I think a lot of, it won't get political, but a lot of that stuff is happening today. I'll stop talking. There's ethical is thrown out the door if that person has not verbally communicated that they wanted their body to science. I don't care who you are. I don't care what your story is. When I say thousands upon thousands, we're talking about 5 to 6 figures of people who are doing this specifically to sell.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Now, so besides exploring abandoned locations and investigating the paranormal in owned and operated locations,
a new year is rapidly approaching, which means it's time to stop letting last year's chaos rent space in your head and in your heart. This is the season of new everything. New life, new love, new confidence, new jobs, and new chances to finally become the best version of you that you've dreamt of. And the universe? Well, it's practically standing on your lawn with a giant cosmic boombox blasting messages meant just for you. You just need the right conduit. And that's where Love and Lotus Tarot with Winnie Schrader comes in. Winnie doesn't just read cards. She translates destiny. He helps you see the opportunities lining up, the patterns trying to repeat, and the new beginnings that are already forming behind the scenes. Right on the heels of New Year comes Valentine's Day, which means love is in the air, or at least it should be. And if your love life has been more like a blue screen of death error, romance not found, don't panic, my friends. The universe is already trying to nudge you in the right direction. The cards are ready to be shuffled, your story is ready to turn the next page, and your next beginning is closer than you think. Book your reading now, or better yet, buy a reading for a friend. Visit lovelotustarot.com and start the year the way it deserves, with clarity, confidence, and maybe even finding a love that you deserve. That's lovelotustarot.com. Your destiny awaits.
I stream video gameplay on Twitch, and we were talking about this the other day. So typically for the first hour, I'll usually talk about something that's going on with me or what I'm doing or what the news was. The other day I got into a political debate with a friend. It didn't end well.
They never do.
No. And, to the point to where I thought we were going to stop being friends, but we squashed that, whatever. As a good friend of mine, if anyone likes group investigations, Illuminate the Beyond is a great group of people. Anyway, we were talking about this, and I was showing the pictures through my live stream. I was like, this is the photos that he took, and these ones that he has up, they were processed into shipping and shipped to buyers. There are skulls in his photos that have hair, that still have matted skin.
Oh my God.
So typically, right, when someone dies and they have no teeth and they've been fitted with dentures, they don't get pulled out after death.
Okay.
There was a skull with dentures still in place.
Oh. It's so sad.
Yeah. There was one skull that had so much leather textured and matted skin that it had melted off the backside of the skull and came forward. So all of this was over the front of the face. And you're going to tell me that you didn't know when you bought it, that you had no idea.
What? Yeah.
So some of the things that, some of the people brought up in my live stream on Twitch was that the first red flag, the first ick of buying a human remain, first of all, is the fact that you're doing it.
Right.
The second one is that it's not white. I guess technically, skulls, human bones would be white or tan, or beige, I guess. It's not any of those colors. It hasn't been bleached. Any infections, any kind of problems can be resurfaced with a cut. So if I can explain this for anyone, if you have mold growing, if you have black mold growing and it's active and it's moist, I know a lot of people hate that word. I apologize. If you have active black mold and let's say it's on drywall, you cut it out, right? To save yourself, save your, your health and everything else. You have a 68% chance of spores from the black mold traveling through the air and attaching to other items in your home, whether it's more drywall, whether it's, an item, a couch, a bed, whatever the case. If you cut human skin that has been decaying in a coffin and that person had infection, whether it was from 1855 or 2004, you can reactivate said infection. And if that infection is viral, or if it's a viral disease, let's say like tuberculosis, which tuberculosis isn't a good example because it only lasts in the air for so long. But anything, smallpox, whatever, anything that can travel,
Yeah.
it can be reactivated.
Yeah.
So on top of everything else, you're also now you have more issues.
Right.
But Becky said it best. It's edgelord. It's vile. It's disgusting. It's cruel to anyone and everyone that has family members that are deceased. Because, my first thought was that could have been my grandmother that he took.
Yeah.
That could have been my great grandmother, my great grandfather. That could have been,
Right.
any dead relative that I have. And, I know we don't settle the score with violence anymore, but man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just want to throat punch them because it's like, what are you doing? How dare you? How dare you disturb graves that have been there for centuries, some, or just even recent ones,
Yeah.
and to know that they just don't care, and
Sorry,
that
go
they
ahead.
see dollar signs over, uh, decency and
Yeah.
respect for the dead. I mean, come
Um,
on. We're not art pieces. It's
when you
disgusting.
watched Cassandra, Elvira back in the
Uh-huh.
day, she didn't have those actual thoughts.
Mhm.
It was a TV show. It was a movie.
Right.
The first thing that came to my head. So when I was doing this research and doing some deep diving and everything else, local police, when they went to go, when they, grabbed a warrant and went to Jonathan's house, they said that police said that they have since uncovered more than 100 sets of human skeletons and bones at Gerlach's home, and added that more bones and several corpses were found in a storage unit. Detectives said that after receiving a tip in November, they allegedly caught Gerlach in the act and then backtracked. Following a path of energy drinks. God, that's the most Kyle thing I've ever heard. Sorry. And discarded cigarette butts, leading police to mausoleums and crypts they say Gerlach burglarized. A message left for Gerlach's public defender was not returned on Monday. Since the story broke last week, police have received dozens upon dozens of inquiries from family, people at Mount Moriah, more than 80 in just 2 days.
Oh, God.
And so there was they did a public press release, and the head investigator on the case said that it was the most horrific thing they've ever seen.
Right. They said it was like a horror
Skeletons
movie.
hanging on the wall, in cabinets, like it was normal. Like there was a skull sitting on top of the pile of your regular eatery, like in the cabinets.
Oh my God.
The storage unit as well. The first thing I thought of was Jeepers Creepers. So if you remember in the beginning of the movie, he runs them off the road.
Right.
They kind of get in their feelings because there could be somebody that needs help. They go back to the church, and poor Justin Long, my twin from when I was like in high school, because I had the butt cut. Um, but he falls down the pipe, and when he gets down there, he finds someone who is still alive and dies in front of him. And then he tries to find his way out of the cellar to get into the church to get out. And right before he's leaving, he flashes his flashlight around the building, around the cellar, and there's people sewn and stitched into the walls and the ceiling. And that was my very first thought. And I couldn't even bear to like imagine, because it's, this isn't one of those things like, oh, look at me with, this, this picture, look at my picture. Like you have it on the thumbnail right here. Look at me with, this skull on a motorcycle, and look at me with this skull at my desk. And,
he was staging those pictures.
It's such a thing that, like, that's like someone's dad or like someone's grandpa or someone's sister or whatever. And you're just making a mockery out of it to make yourself look, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, you think that you look cool or sexy or something. I don't understand.
Yeah. And what's even scarier is that there's like a culture of this and people that want to buy this stuff.
Hey, Winnie, isn't there a picture of your husband holding a skull?
Yes, there is. There's the one where he's at the table and he's got his skull underneath it. But that one, I don't believe was a real skull.
No, no, I was just giving you shit.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like the whole theme of human skulls, it's been used, and I mean, it's been used in piracy,
I'm replacing your Merlot with Mountain Dew.
But you know what I'm saying? So, and it's been through cultures. I mean, you have, I believe in France, the tunnels or something, or is that in France or is that in Prague where they have the
it's
walls made of
the Paris catacombs.
Yeah, the catacombs.
Yeah.
But and that I understand, that's kind of a similar thing, but that's part of it's part of history. It was part of a culture that, we don't have to this day, but
Well,
that's more of that historical side of death, that what people used to do. But to sell it like you're selling a used mattress on Facebook Marketplace, how the heck did he get around those algorithms? Is that why people were kind of confused of actually what he was selling? Did he have to disguise the words for it to be posted? Because I wouldn't think putting up
he is
selling it.
Basically what he did, and as we're talking, I'll start kind of going through it. I'll get up. I'm gonna get up this real quick.
Yeah, because
so like, the main group that he was in and was running his oddities was Oddities Marketplace 2.0, which there was a 1.0. I wonder why.
Oh.
And not trying to be
right.
Just all this other stuff. I mean, there's so much here. Like this is actually kind of cool. Carved cowbone, and it's all like it's necklace pendants with like different designs and stuff like that. But so I think it's a little it's a little different, right? Because some people are into taxidermy, some people are into stuff,
Yeah.
and
I know jewelry.
Yeah.
I mean, jewelry is, that's kind of an ancient tradition, very heavy in Native American culture to create necklaces, and part of their clothing will have animal bones throughout it, but their culture is what they when they kill a buffalo,
Mhm.
I mean, the whole thing is sacred to them, and they use every single part of that buffalo they can. They
Sure.
take the bones and make utensils and bowls and plates out of it. They'll make jewelry
Arrowheads,
out of it,
knives, everything.
tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, for me, that and to sell that kind of oddities is okay, especially if it's, like, old stuff, like antique type stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool, but when it
Without
comes to
don't kill to get it
Y
though.
right, you don't not yeah, you don't poach to kill that stuff. If
Yeah.
the animal is dead or if you hunted it down for the food, like
Yeah.
what Native Americans have done for eons, I'm totally down for that because that's part of their culture and they're using every part that they can, but yeah, to kill an animal or a human, whoever, to just for to have financial gain from killing them and using their parts, that is illegal, it's immoral, it's
Yeah.
disgusting, and to do that even if you didn't kill the person, there are laws in place to protect the dead, and
For a
it's part
reason.
of religion, it's part of culture, we respect the dead. I mean, being in the paranormal community, when we tell people when we have investigations, you respect the spirits of the Palmer House. You don't
Mhm.
goat them, you're not rude to them, they were people once too, and
Yeah.
we treat them as such in death, and in the physical form of the dead, we have to do the same. I mean, it's just out of respect for them, and to just completely do what this guy did is disgusting, and to know that there's a market for this, and people want to buy this kinda stuff is I can't even put to words, like, if somebody told me, I would probably just have to slap them and then leave, you know? "Oh, look at what I got the other day, it just came
Yeah.
in the mail, I purchased it," and it's a skull with skin on it, gross. Get it? That's disrespectful, yeah, like you said, it could have been somebody's mother.
Yeah.
Mother!
Yep.
And they're expecting to have their mother in their grave, and then they go and they find out that their mom was dismembered to sell centerpieces, to have conversations at a coffee table. I mean, come on. It's
Um,
ugh, God.
so getting a little further into it,
Mhm,
this was my first time. This was my first time actually searching his name into the group.
mhm.
Um, um, it seems to me that a viable reason as to why he chose the path he did was because he was unsuccessful with the animal aspect. Um,
Oh, so he
post
stepped up.
after post after post after post after post, with some having no likes, some having five, uh, things not being sold. Um, there's a second skull on here that um, still has human skin on it. Everything from so this is rough. An African leopard, the skull of an African leopard. Um, the skulls of foxes and monkeys. A mummified kitten that he had posed in a chair. Um, another mummified kitten that was appear to be eating a possum. These and all most of these, when it says mummified, it's not actually mummified.
Yeah.
It's just simply that they still have skin on the bones and hair on the bones.
Ugh.
Posing a kitten on a pole like a scratching post. I'm not so sure. Some of these look legit, but most of them look like they were like like it was killed in order to do it. African elephant trunk with matching set of ears, so the skin of an elephant. First of all, poaching in Africa is illegal.
Yeah, and that's a big problem they have over there.
It's actually illegal. So I'm not really sure where at any point in time that was even legal to even be shipped.
Right.
But this one had 33 likes on it with 6 comments. Just curious. I have a hand-carved ivory lamp. I thought it would be 100 years old to get rid of. I don't even know what that makes sense. But yeah, no, we're going down the rabbit hole with this kind of stuff. But there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are grave robbing to sell. And there are more than half of that are willing to buy.
Yeah, that's scary. Oh, that's why I want to be cremated. Nobody can take my parts.
No one can take my stuff.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of other different places. Oddities Flea Market, which I think is actually just a page. Like I think it's a traveling thing. Because there's more than a couple of those, right? So I mean, do we start so this is kind of my question, right? Because I mean, we're supposed to be talking about Jonathan, but I think it's a little bit more important that we talk about what we do now that he was caught. Do we start going after everybody else? Do we start making phone calls when we hear or see something?
Yeah.
What is the protocol now? Because that side of oddities is shivering in their boots, and they should be.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know how many he sold because of how many people they found in his apartment.
Right. And and if he was working with other people too, what do they have at their place? How many? If he had, because I can't imagine doing this all by yourself at night.
Well, according to the police, they caught him in the act. So he was.
Okay.
Now, Mount Moriah experienced a lot of damage.
Yeah.
From their mausoleums being broken into to vaults being broken open, because vaults are concrete. So,
Yep.
you had to, I imagine you'd have to bust it open with a sledgehammer. For anyone that's ever been to a funeral, a real legit funeral, you've seen a concrete vault.
Yep. And the casket goes in it.
Yeah, and then they, it's a double layer of protection.
Yep.
Now, some people don't get a concrete vault, so maybe that's not fair to say that you've seen one. But because I've been to several funerals, and I've seen them where someone spent the extra money for the vault, and I've seen some people that spent extra money on just a better casket.
Yeah.
But where does I feel like human decency is just out the window when it comes to this sort of thing. And it's not just, I'm pretty sure human decency is just gone at this point. I mean, everything from every single side of an ice raid to every single thing that's happening in America today.
There's a place in beautiful Sauk Center, Minnesota, where history is poured into every drink. The food is made to comfort, and the walls have stories they're still telling. That place is the Palmer House Hotel, Restaurant, and Pub, and I'm the owner, Dave Schrader. So whether you're stopping in for a great meal, relaxing with a drink in the pub, catching live music, or staying the night, the Palmer House feels like home, a warm, welcoming home with a spirited past. Guests return again and again for the atmosphere, the hospitality, and yes, the friendly ghosts who seem pretty fond of this place too. So come on out, eat, drink, explore, and stay a while. Book your room, plan your night out, or make a weekend of it. You can even stop by for our Saturday tours. If you'd like more information about the tour and the Paranormal House Hotel.com, or call 320-351 9100. The Palmer House, where history lives on and every visit becomes a part of the story.
Hello, Darklings and my fellow mind travelers. This is Mark Allen Lanou, the Gemini Mind. Come take a journey with me through this place we call life by picking up a copy of my book, Reality Was Once the Tapestry of the Dreamer. Available on Barnes & Noble and Amazon online. You can find the links also on my website, markallenlanou.com. Chock full of stories about organized crime, the paranormal, my music career, NASA, and more. So go pick up your copy, and you all rock. Indeed.
But, getting into some other things too, police are investigating if grave robberies in Luzerne County are connected to Jonathan.
Yep, that was the other cemetery I think that he may have hit.
Well, they don't know. They don't know just yet, but they think it might be. I think it'd be interesting once they figure it out if it's connected to him or if it's another person. Because if it's another person, it's exactly what I told you, where it's thousands upon thousands of people that are doing this, specifically at abandoned cemeteries. I won't say where it is, but we have 3 separate abandoned cemeteries that are within a 20-mile range outside of Louisville, Kentucky. So, to say that people aren't doing it, it's just that people don't know they're doing it.
Okay, because that's what I was going to say. I've never heard it reported in the news or other than this case. I mean, when you think grave robbing, you think of, Ed Gein or way back when, or,
I don't necessarily think it's so much Ed Gein. I think it's more because the Ed Gein thing is really just like displaying the trophies, right? And and just being a weirdo. I don't know, who in the world, would sew a bunch of nipples together for a chair. But
a belt. He made a belt.
The belt, right? Whatever. It's not so much that, it's more because when you think of grave robbing, I think of an old Western.
Right. Stealing the gold teeth,
stealing the gold,
jewelry, things like
see,
that.
Here's the thing too, is that I can understand and respect people's wishes. But I think being buried with your wealth is extremely, I feel like being buried with your wealth is extremely arrogant.
Yeah.
And very self divulged. Because let's say that I was to die tomorrow with my 53 cents in the bank account. Whatever. Let's say I was a millionaire and I was like, all the money's going in with me. That money could go back into circulation, or I could donate it, or something. So the old Westerns and stuff, I always kind of cheered it on. I was just like, that's you shouldn't have done that anyway.
Yeah, it's almost like you're asking.
You're asking.
Dig up your buried treasure.
I hate to say that, but it's almost like what you said. It's almost like you're asking for it. But as if women haven't heard that enough in their lifetime,
right?
But I think I care a little bit too much for people.
Well, and I do too. I mean, I find it so disgusting though. Like, the only time I really ever in the scope of my life heard about people wanting to steal bodies, it was just, like to steal a celebrity that died because they just wanted the celebrity. It wasn't about displaying human bones or skulls. It was just wanting that celebrity's body. I mean, it's kind of like in the sense of
I've never heard of that. What kind of are you into, Winnie?
I'm not. Everyone's like, that's why a lot of times when celebrities die, they disguise their grave markers because they don't want people. Because people were like, oh my gosh, the lead singer of the Doors.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, he's buried over in France. I don't know why his name is Jim Morrison. I had a migraine this morning, so my brain is kind of woo. But Jim Morrison, they had to have him unmarked, I think, for a while because like people wanted to steal his body. They wanted to have Jim Morrison's body.
I can't remember exactly which one it was, but somebody said that Marilyn Monroe was in trouble here recently. The man who bought the mausoleum above her, he wanted to be buried facing towards her. Just a random fan.
Oh, weird. Yeah, and see that's another thing. Yeah, they're buying, but yeah, like so. I think Michael Jackson's mausoleum thing was hidden for a while
Yeah.
too, because so many people were so obsessed with seeing his dead body, and
Yeah.
to me that's
Well, people
weird, but
are just, it's like,
yeah.
I don't understand who in the blue hell thought that Ted Bundy was attractive with
I do
that
not think
giant
he was
with that
attractive at
giant
all.
unibrow on his head. Anyone who ever uttered those words, get your mental physical.
Yeah, because I didn't find him attractive at all.
This is already happening with Jonathan Gerlach.
Oh no, he's
It's
got fangirls now.
all over TikTok. All over it.
God.
When it's a nationwide story. It's not just in our realm.
Mm-hmm.
Like you think
it's
it would
all over
be.
the news now.
It's national.
Yeah.
So much so that a cousin in the UK sent me a message and was like, "Hey, what's up with that guy?" And I'm like,
"Oh,
you heard about that? That's crazy."
Oh.
But it's don't normalize thinking that people are attractive. Just in general, just think everyone's ugly from now on, because this is ridiculous. But they haven't come up with, they haven't had a court case yet. They haven't sentenced him yet. But the amount of charges that he's already racked up, he's going to be in jail for like 2 or 3 lifetimes.
I hope so.
He's going to be in prison for like 2 or 3 lifetimes, and he won't have the possibility of parole.
Good. And I will keep the audience up to date with any information that comes down the pipe with his case of, is he going to have a trial? I mean, what is he just
he's having a trial, I promise you.
Oh, it's going to be interesting to see how that trial plays out. And when that happens, we can definitely have you on, and we can just, talk about maybe do a weekly podcast just on this case to see what happened in court this week. But thank you so much, Vince, for coming on and talking about this. Cause like, I when you look up the news right now, you're just getting the facts, but it's like, why was this even a thing to begin with? And you clarified a lot, saying, there's thousands of people that are doing this. There's a market for it. I mean, that's disturbing. And to know it's on Facebook Marketplace is even more disturbing. And like, I can't even, like, even on YouTube, I can't even talk about certain things because I'll get demonetized or banned. And it's like, this is able to be sold on Facebook. And if I can't say the word of a self-harming event, the actual word for it, and get banned, that's
more TikTok than anything. But
but I mean, YouTube is doing the same thing, and it's frustrating. But like, having guys like this be able to just sell human skulls with skin and a little bit of hair on Facebook Marketplace for $4.99. I mean, come on. What is happening? I feel like this censorship is completely all over the place.
It's gone.
And not making sense. So, but thank you. Now, where can people find you, Vince?
urbaninvestigator.com. I have Facebook, TikTok, Twitch. If you're into video gameplay, if you're into hour, 2-hour long talks, I do these podcasts all the time. And so far I like, so far this is, between you and Tressa and Jenny, and I think these are my 2 favorite I've done so far.
Thank you.
Well, because it's not so much, with Jenny and Tressa, it was like we went down the haunted railroad, but it was open to talk about anything and everything else. And then this is getting into a little bit more true crime and stuff, so it was interesting to talk about. and kind of do the deep rabbit stuff. Now, we didn't really go too far deep into it, but if we are going to keep your audience updated, I will start doing a bigger deep dive and different things to look out for and different people to look out for and things like that.
Yeah, let's keep our finger on this story and just keep tapping it and see what's coming up, what's new that way. And hey, if any of my audience has come across anyone selling these type of items or anything like that, turn them into the authorities. I mean, if you really think, just I just turn them over to the authorities. Don't even engage with these people, because what they're doing is so sacrilegious. It's illegal. It's non-ethical. It's demoralizing. It's horrific. And to know that there's family members now are worried if their loved ones that they buried 20 years ago is still all together or even still there at all is highly, highly upsetting, especially when it comes to, because I'm very family oriented. I've lost both my parents. Luckily, I cremated both my parents. So I don't have to worry about that, but I cherish their remains.
Sure.
I have the remains, and I'm not going to just like in Meet the Fockers, where the urn got tipped over and the cat used it as a litter box. But I mean, that would probably be the worst that could happen with my parents. But so everybody check out the urbaninvestigator.com. Check out what Vince does. It's pretty interesting. He's all over the place, haunted places. You do a lot of filming and things like that. And you're just always seeking an adventure, which I like. Now,
and
this
I'll be
adventure
on your
is
husband's, and I'll be on your husband's. Well, I'm technically already on the network, but I will be on the same network as your husband
on Stream
come
Beacon
this year.
TV. That's right.
Beacon.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And if you guys want to sign up for Stream Beacon TV, Dave's show, Paranormal Mysteries that he did with Cindy Kaza and Shane Pittman is on there. You just go to streambeacon.com, sign up. You'll get Vince's show as well. So
make sure that you use code URBEX10.
URBEX10. All right. So sign up, Stream Beacon, use code URBEX10.
Yep.
And and just enjoy the programming. And they're building that streaming service. So I'm excited to see where that's going to go. But thank you so much, Vince. And thank you all. And I hope to see you all next week.
Thank you for joining me for another episode of Mysteries, Mayhem, and Merlot. And until our next case, my armchair detectives, stay safe, stay vigilant, and stay aware. I'll see you right here next week on Mysteries, Mayhem, and Merlot.